It's the book of Sirach, chapter 37, verse 12. But be continually with a godly man, whom thou knowest, to keep the commandments of the Lord, whose mind is according to thy mind, and will sorrow with thee if thou shalt miscarry. Right, so who's the godly man that we are to be with Yahweh Shai? Now, obviously, we have men who have been given the Spirit to lead us back to that godly man. And we must discern the characteristics of what we are receiving when we eat before rulers, right? It's very important. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 1. When thou sittest to eat with a ruler, consider diligently what is before thee, and put a knife to thy throat, if thou be a man given to appetite. Right, so when you first come into the knowledge, you're basically devouring and devouring and devouring, trying to gain as much knowledge as you can. But as you are calves brought up in the stall, and as you become of age, and you gain wisdom and experience, you become more mindful of that which you are consuming. Also, your own independent research needs to be done. We can't always rely on others to feed us. We must learn to use the Spirit within us to feed ourselves. That is a part of maturity. We must learn to follow the Spirit that is within us and trust the voice of what is being said to us, and let that be our guide. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 25. The righteous eateth to the satisfying of his soul, but the belly of the wicked shall want. Right? The wicked do not understand judgment. Don't understand that sometimes there are things that they are eating that is poisonous and traps. Right? It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 20, verse 6. Most men will proclaim everyone of his own goodness, but a faithful man who can find? Right? That faithful man is Yahweh Shai. Right? And as we decrease and as he increases in our lives, he is increasing our faith. He is making himself more faithful to us, and we in turn are making ourselves more faithful to him as he endows us with these spiritual riches and gifts. We must cherish them and use them accordingly. Right? It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 2, verse 10. When wisdom entereth into thine heart, and knowledge is pleasant unto thy soul, discretion shall preserve thee, understanding shall keep thee, to deliver thee from the way of the evil man, from the man that speaketh froward things. Right, so although there are individuals who may use this word, we must understand the spiritual aspect and the fleshly aspect. There are some individuals who are still being purged, so to speak, from their spiritual faults, and we must be long-suffering and patient with them. And then there are also men who've crept in unawares, who are meant to put on wayward spirits on the men who are coming behind them. And it is on you to determine between the righteous and the wicked. Right? This is a part of the journey. This is a part of the battle. Right? Even on the top floor, so to speak. The journey of spirituality does not stop. The journey of learning does not stop. We are ascending and going from glory to glory. This is the book of Malachi, Malachi chapter 3, verse 18. Then shall ye return and discern between the righteous and the wicked, between him that serveth God the power and him that serveth him not. Right. So we must strive to be the best servant that we can be, and we must know the example which to follow. There are some servants who have been given a false gift, and they boast in it, and we must be mindful and pray that our gift remains, and that we have a true gift. And as we are being transformed by the power of this word, the faith that we have in our gift becomes stronger and stronger. He that beginneth a good work in you shall perform it to the end. This is the book of Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 5. Thus saith the Lord, power, cursed be the man that trusteth in man, and maketh flesh his arm, and whose heart departed from the Lord. Right, so we must spiritually discern things. We must not believe every spirit, but try the spirit by the spirit, and that is the spirit that is within us. Our spirit has to be built up to the point through wisdom that we can discern. And that is a part of the journey, right? Judging matters, right? We have to be mindful of what we take in and also what we put out. Our goal is not about quantity per se, it's quality, right? This is not a numbers game. This is a holiness, right? An uprightness game, right? So this is the race that we're trying to run. This is the mastery, right? It's the book of Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 4. Take ye heed every one of his neighbor, and trust ye not in any brother, for every brother will utterly supplant, and every neighbor will walk with slanders. And they will deceive every one of his neighbor, and will not speak the truth, for they have taught their tongue to speak lies, and weary themselves to commit iniquity. Right, so we have to be mindful of our neighbors. Although the brotherhood is a great thing, and the body of Yashar Allah is a great thing, there are levels to this. And we condescend to men of low estate, and we recognize, again, the purging of individuals. But we cannot allow someone's shortcomings to be a stumbling block in our own personal development and growth. Right? It's the book of Luke, chapter 11, verse 52. Woe unto you lawyers, right? Those who know the law. For ye have taken away the key of knowledge. Ye entered not in yourselves, and them that were entering in ye hindered. Right. So we must be mindful of those who are opening the gate, right? Those who are showing us the path, right? We must ensure that the path that we are walking is a path which Yahweh Shai is the foundation of. And it takes a lot of meditation and discernment to do this, right? You cannot be a respecter of persons, and we have to be honest with what's going on within ourselves, as well as what is going on with others. We have compassion and long suffering and forgiveness and grace to others. But again, a person's lack of growth cannot be a stumbling block to our own growth. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 48, verse 17. Thus saith the Lord power, thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. I am the Lord thy God, which teacheth thee to profit, which leadeth thee by the way that thou should go. Right. So he that remains in the congregation of the dead shall not be in the way of understanding. So the only thing that we want to be dead is dead works of the flesh, and to be in the way of understanding, which is the spirit. So there is a there's a juxtaposition to dead works of the flesh and increase in the spirit. The more you mortify the flesh, the more you will increase in the spirit. So that is a way to tell who is growing and who is not. Those who are not growing are those who are not mortifying the flesh, but in actuality giving into the flesh. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 8, verse 18. My son, gather instruction from thy youth up, so shalt thou find wisdom till thine own age. Come unto her as one that ploweth and soweth, and waiteth for her good fruits. For thou shalt not toil much in laboring about her, but thou shalt eat of her fruit right soon. She is very unpleasant to the unlearned. He that is without understanding will not remain with her. Right. So this is why wisdom will only be given to those worthy of her. We must love her, cherish her, ravish her, as it talks about in Songs of Solomon. I believe that's the 8th chapter. So again, Sirach 6 and 21, she will lie upon him as a mighty stone, right? Yahweh Shai of trial, right? The trial of our faith. And he will cast her from earth it to be long. But wisdom is according to her name, and she is not manifest unto many. Right? So this is a pure gift that is only given to a select few, and only will remain with the select few. Give ear, my son, receive my advice, and refuse not my counsel, and put thy feet into her fetters, and thy neck into her chain. Right? Wisdom needs to be our first wife. Bow down thy shoulder and hear her, and be not grieved with her bonds. Right? We must be circumspect and be not ignorant in any matter, great or small. Seek and search and seek, and she shall be made known unto thee. Sirach 6 and 26. Come unto her with thy whole heart, and keep her ways with all thy power. Right? It takes power to be able to retain this energy. Search and seek, and she shall be made known unto thee. And when thou hast got hold of her, let her not go. O love that will not let me go. For at the last thou shalt find her rest, and that shall be turned to the joy. Right, so continue on the path that you are on. Trust the process. A lot of us have grown in a lot of ways, and we don't even recognize ourselves, but we can't glory in this when we give thanks to the Lord and we boast in his strength, and in our weakness. In our weakness he is made strong. So we must continue to fight the good fight of faith and lean on his strength to give us the courage, the wisdom, the knowledge, and the faith, and the understanding to make it to the end. Remember, freely receive, freely give.